The Philippine Nurses Association of Nevada now brings you Filipinas, news and features about the Filipino-American nursing community and beyond. And now, here's your host, Doris Bauer.
Well, good evening, Filipinas listeners and followers. How are you all doing? We hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining us here again at Filipinas. We do appreciate your continued support. And PNANB, which is the Philippine Nurses Association of Nevada, is continuing with this public service project, of course, in collaboration with our favorite radio station, PHLV Radio. Okay, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Well, here in Nevada, we have just started getting the kids back to school. And many preparations have been made to get this ball rolling. And we are still in the early stages of this return to school plan. So we thought we would ask some of our Nevada educators, Filipino educators, matter of fact, what they think of this process. So today we have invited some of the officers of FAME, F-A-M-E, otherwise known as the Filipino American Educators in Nevada. And so please, let's welcome Doc Mike Sanajuana, Ms. Jean Mizell, and Leslie Tira. Hello and welcome to the show, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Doris, and thank you very much for inviting us here at PHLB Radio. And of course, it's a nice back here at the station for my second time around.
All right. Well, ladies, thank you so much for coming. And I'm going to have you introduce yourselves, okay? So let's start with you, Doc Mike. I know Doc Mike is, he's a broadcaster. He's everywhere. He is also the president of FAME, right, Doc?
Yes. So once again, my name is Dr. Michael Santajuana. I'm with the school district and of course, the president of the Filipino American Educators of Nevada. Before coming here to U.S., I was a former division schools supervisor in the Department of Education in the Philippines and a former college professor in the Philippines.
All
That's
right. Very cool. Very cool. What about you, Ms. Jean Mizell? Ms. Jean Mizell is the vice president of FAME, right?
Yes, I'm honored to serve as the vice president of FAME here in Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
I was a graduate from the University of the Philippines with Bachelor of Arts in Economics, and I took my master's here at UNLV for special education. I have been teaching for 17 years, 14 years in the classroom, and the past 3 years as project facilitator, mentoring and coaching our Filipino teachers and other new teachers, special education teachers in Clark County School District.
Awesome.
And, this is my second time in PHLV.
Oh, all right.
At UPAN radio program too.
Very good.
Thank
Very
you for having
good.
us.
And how about you, Miss Leslie? Tira.
Hi, Miss. I'm Leslie Tira. Leslie Gonzalez Tira. I am a special education teacher here at the Del H. Robinson Middle School. I'm the first batch hired as J Visa before, way back 2005.
Oh.
And now I'm here also as a secretary of FAME.
Correct.
And I served as treasurer also from the past 2017 to 2021. And I'm also the secretary right now, and we are also teaching the new teachers, the J Visa teachers. And right now I'm also like advocating for community and youth development.
Very good.
And I'm also the same with you as the honoree. Thank you.
Yes, I was going to say that little tidbit. So everyone, March is actually National Women's History Month. And the NAFA, our organization, National Federation of Filipino American Associations, honored several women in different categories last night. And Leslie and I were in the education category. So, congratulations, Miss Leslie.
Same to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. All right. So, your organization just elected some officers, right?
Yes, yes.
Congratulations.
Uh-huh.
And you had an induction yesterday or
Yes, last March, yes, March 8th.
March 8th? Oh, yeah, March 8th. Yeah. Okay. March 8th. Very good. Congratulations to the newly elected officers of FAME. Okay. So, how did FAME gets organized? Can you tell us what is your organization's goals and mission?
First of all, we organized in 2017 with a vision to establish support systems that empowers Filipino American educators, teachers of Filipino American students and Filipino students. So start with the mastering and arriving of Filipino teachers. It's but proper to support them. They must have a support system, especially within the school district. So we decided we called ourselves the local teachers, the regional. So they're mentors. So we try to establish, we meet and try to organize what can we do
Sure.
with our younger generation with our mission to empower the Filipino American educators in Nevada by providing, professional learning opportunities,
Sure.
mentorship, collaboration, and to provide quality classroom experience for all the students because we want them like portray like these are the local teachers right now. We're here.
Right,
And
right.
teachers are coming from the Philippines. We want to have the same expectation as the locals or the originals because
Yes.
at least we know the crop, we know the ins and out of the school district, we know the expectation. For the new arrivals, they need a support system.
Of
So
course.
we organize ourselves to organize a team that we can help them. First, when they arrive, we schedule a cultural immersion program. We organize professional development, but not more on the employment side, but more on professional education. What can they do? First
Right.
thing, first in the community, how they can collaborate with the community, how can they, collaborate with the student. What are these high expectations for them to be, integrated in the school system in the Clark County?
Very good. So you guys start the acculturation process
Yes.
of these new teachers because it is quite a big difference, between how it is back home and how it is here. I know we went through that in nursing as well. So thank you for that, Doc Mike. And ladies, I'm going to fire out some questions and feel free to, to respond as well. Do you have anything to add to that?
I'd like to add to that too. On the other hand, too, we want those in Clark County and as well as the state of Nevada to know about our culture as Filipinos. So we're fostering the cultural awareness and diversity within the school district and also with the state of Nevada.
Very
So
good.
it's twofold.
Yeah, so it's like vice versa,
Want to be
right?
proud
Yeah,
to be Filipino here.
yeah. Okay, Leslie, anything to add to that?
We also wanted like to share with them like what's the difference. Sometimes they have like slang terms for the students. They need to know how to deal with some accents because we
Uh-huh.
guys in the Philippines have accents and the students doesn't know sometimes, and we also teachers doesn't know what does it mean. So
Right.
we need to work with that with some of the teachers so that they can be able to understand each other and to be understood too by the students.
Exactly.
You cannot remove that one overnight or
No,
1 month or 6 months. So they have the
not at all.
so-called program called the accent reduction.
Is that right? Oh
Yes.
wow! I gotta sit in one of those classes. Like
It's a
that's
long
very
process for the accent.
okay. Yeah, that is very true. We went through that as well in nursing. So it's, because I came here from the Philippines as well and started here, and there's quite a difference even with the type of English that we're used to and the type of vernacular English that they have in here. Correct?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Very good. So, does the focus of your organization include all levels of education, preschool, elementary, high school, and college, or are you just into one specific, segment of the education?
Leslie, Jean will answer with that one.
Right now, most of our teachers are concentrated within the elementary and high school levels.
Mm-hmm.
We have a handful of local who are in preschool, and we are trying to expand our organization to accommodate other teachers, not only in Clark County, but charter schools and as well as college too. But we haven't gone that far yet. We're pretty in the baby stages as of now. Our organization is in its fourth year, and we are
Wow.
concentrating right now on helping our J1 teachers.
Well,
But we are going to expand. We have a lot of Filipino teachers.
yeah, I
Just in
must
the
say.
Yeah.
And yeah, and so it's good you guys have started this, and it looks like you're going in the right direction, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there are also teachers from the charter schools and private schools who are Filipino, and they try to reach out. Like, how about us? Are you gonna include us? Possibly later on, as soon as we organize now the baseline, then we try to collaborate also with the private schools and the charter schools to actively participate. Not only that, because there are some retired teachers that would like also to participate. Possibly we have another part of membership committee that will look on to the other membership group
Possibilities for the group,
possibilities.
right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, very good. That's awesome. I commend you for that. So, how did you spend the last year in this COVID pandemic? I know this is just from a standpoint of educating your students. I know we were all sequestered and, you all had to learn virtual teaching or whatnot. So I want you guys to answer these questions, all of you. Who wants to start?
Okay, for us, like we have different categories or different subject
Levels.
areas.
Uh-huh.
Like for me as a special ed teacher, I need to learn different platforms in order for me to communicate with different diverse students at the same time, Spanish speakers or different languages of my parents as well.
Sure.
So I need really to plan more or ahead
Mm-hmm.
so that I have different strategies, platforms so that I can communicate with them. And then I need also to have some like techniques. Sometimes I need to present some different strategies, bullets for the teachers and for the students and the parents because they cannot really follow at once. And virtually is very hard because you cannot even feel at the same time or you cannot even like talk to them like directly. So
Sure.
you really need to think of different platforms and strategies so that you can build the relationship even though we're far from each other.
Yeah, and that must have been a little bit tougher for the special ed students, right?
Yes. Yes, on our part, it's really bloody and challenging Bloody because it really entails a lot of preparation, especially for the older generation teachers who are not really abreast with the new technology.
Technology.
Remember last year, like the transfer from a face-to-face instruction to virtual instruction that you have to change overnight in terms of the curriculum.
Yeah.
The face-to-face curriculum is easy, but in a virtual curriculum, you must have the whole school district is actually make use of Canvas. Okay, that Canvas. We use that Canvas mostly on the higher learning, high school, and higher learning classes because they're really hard. But because of the pandemic, it opens the avenue also for everyone to learn. Oh, we can do it. Even the students. Before, the student have the option. The teacher have the option. It was already offered to us. But it's up to us if we really want to to use it. But because of the pandemic, it's like there's no way you can use another platform that this is the main platform that you have to learn this. So both the students, the teachers, even the parents needs to learn how to navigate, just to navigate alone. So for the whole semester, like the first semester, it was really bloody because we have to abreast with the technology, with the navigation of the canvas. Now it's like flowing, it's easy. So it's
Yeah.
quite lesser stress now for the teachers because the students are already aware how to navigate. You're gonna tell them how to log in on your canvas. It's gonna be also your check-in where the student are time stamped every time they participate in your class.
Wow. That is so different. I mean, yeah, learning Zoom was quite a big challenge, but now everybody seems to know about it. But there's still a lot of people say, "Oh, you got to share your screen now. Oh, you got to mute yourself now." There's a lot of learning curve to be learned there. How about you, Jean?
This past year, I think I have grown a lot technology because of the technology issues, especially when there's glitches, when Wi-Fi is not working, and when I'm working here at home. The biggest challenge for me is thinking of myself first, being safe and being healthy. First and foremost, I cannot argue the fact that we have to take care of ourselves first in order to take care of others. And in taking care of me, I was able to do my job, although it's hard because of the technology issues.
Yeah.
But then again, we are very flexible.
Yeah.
And that's how we were able to survive this past year. So I visit a lot of schools every day, and I'm not able to do that. So what we do is we just go on Google Meets. So we're meeting virtually, but it's hard if the other person you're meeting is not available or there's a problem with their Wi-Fi. So it was a challenge, but we survived it, and we are glad that we are coming back to school again.
Yeah, which gets me to my next question to you guys. How do you feel about going back to the classroom, and what is your opinion on the state of Nevada's plan on going back to school? I know there's some segments there, right?
Yes. Well, as a teacher, we don't have no choice, but you have to abide with the what is the policy, what is the it's not the want actually of the school district, but it's actually the wants of the parent. Also, some of the parents say that they want face-to-face instruction, especially the K to 3, which started 2 weeks ago. The K to 3 started 2 weeks ago. Then the middle school and high school starting very soon. Okay, so first of all, they have a lot of preparation, especially in the classroom. The teacher now, when we come back, we cannot rearrange the classroom because it's already planned, intentionally planned to distance learning also in the classroom. So they measure the classroom, they measure everything, they change the schedule. So there will be a cohort A, cohort B, there will be a cohort C. There are days that, like for example, in my school, Wednesday all students will be working at home. And the most challenging part of this going back to school, the hybrid one, you cannot force a student or parents to let their student to go back to the classroom. So they were given a choice. Do you want to go back to hybrid or virtual to the remaining of the year? Because remember, we're end up on May 29. We're done with the
Right,
school
right.
year.
Oh,
we're,
that's right.
And it's going to be very short time. So for the parents, like, okay, I decided because the teacher also does the survey and fill up the survey for the parents while you're talking to the parents. So there are a lot of students and parents like, no more. I go with the virtual for the remaining of the year.
Yeah.
But for those who are coming back to face, it's quite challenging because the teacher, I have, for example, 6 students on the virtual. Simultaneously, I have 6 students face to face. Simultaneously, I will have class. Period 1, for example, I have 6 online, 6 in the classroom, but I'm teaching both classes at the same time.
Wow.
Yes, that's one of the challenges now. But we'll see how it will work, especially on April 6th.
April 6th. What's April 6th?
The return back of the middle school and high school in the classroom.
Oh my goodness. Well, yeah, I guess we'll have to get you guys back in here again. What's been your experience? What do you say about going back to school, Jean?
I'm both excited and at the same time very worried because I go to several schools every day. Well, now I'm only allowed to go to 4 classrooms to check on teachers, to help them, to work with students also. So the pandemic is still there, but then we as teachers have been vaccinated. Most of us have been vaccinated. The kids are not.
I was gonna ask you that. Have you guys had your vaccinations?
Yes.
Good, because
Yes.
it has been made available to teachers, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and the kids are not because they don't have the vaccinations yet for kids. So how do you protect yourselves? Are you going to be wearing masks? The kids wearing masks and face shields and
Yes.
stuff?
The school will provide everything, the masks, the shields, everything in the classroom. It's like, wow, let's see what will happen on the actual, because they're going to be monitoring them also by distance, walking, going to the classroom, and going out and going home from getting their lunches to the classroom.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and it's why there is an n number of students to be in the classroom. And I visited already my school before the opening, and they have already all the, the amenities. They have the sanitizers in the classroom. Now all the toilet, both boys and girls, they're gonna have a monitor inside to make sure that there's no playing around in the
my
toilet.
gosh.
So it's got entails additional staff to monitor the hallway, to monitor the toilets, and of course the teachers is monitoring the classroom.
That is a
Yes.
very big challenge for
And what's nice thing also in the classroom now, because of that preparation, in every classroom in my school, we have the so-called the voice enhancer. So the students, we will not show going to closer to the student, but the whole room as a voice enhancer that the teacher is wearing. So
what
that's
does
nice.
that voice enhancer do?
So it's like the room is already synced with the microphones, the sound
like
system in the
speakers.
classroom.
Oh, speakers.
The
Okay.
speakers in the
All right,
classroom.
okay. Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh. Speakers in the classroom.
That's
You're not
nice.
going to hear them tinkle. I don't know. This is a huge challenge, which most people do not quite understand. The amount of preparation that is involved with getting all the kids back to school, right? But it's necessary, don't you think? It's necessary to have the kids back to school.
Yes, of course. It's
Yes.
necessary. You know, the especially development of interpersonal relationship
Right.
is very important, especially for their mental well-being. You know, especially kids from K to 3. It's very important in their development that
Yes.
they need to collaborate with other students, and it's not only with the four corners of the room, but they need to play, run, scream outside the classroom. But even the playground is quite not included with that one because of the supervision. They cannot play face to face. Like they have the policy now that if they're gonna play balls, they cannot pass the ball. It's only one ball per student.
Oh my God. What fun is that? Well, hopefully, it will get better as everyone gets vaccinated. So we're hoping.
To add to that, as special education teachers, it's very hard for our students to not have that social emotional attachment, or not attachment, their relationship with their friends, with their classmates, with their teachers. All they see during virtual classes are their parents, and then they see the computer, although of course they see us there, but there's no interaction
Yeah.
as in face to face with their peers. And some of them cannot read facial expressions, some of them can need that
Ah,
physical presence. And that's what they're missing out, especially our little ones from the
tactile.
elementary grades.
Yeah. So is that why they started the plan with the younger kids before
Yes.
they go to the older kids?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Well, Leslie, you have anything to add to that? Are you
Yes,
excited?
especially for us, like special ed students. Like in my case, like the middle schoolers, even though they are middle schoolers, but they are like my students are in autism spectrum,
Wow.
and the socialization and communication is the things that we need to develop in them. And having this virtual and no emotions, no communication is very hard.
That's tough.
That's
Yeah.
why even though virtual, I let them communicate with me, and I make my face seen like big in the camera so that they can see all of my face and my feelings and my mouth, so that they can at least read my lips.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, gosh, you guys had made so many preparations, and we thank you, for that. So, were you going to say something, Doc Mike? No. Okay. Well, so let's switch to a different topic of sorts. Just recently, CCSD has hired another batch of teachers directly from the Philippines, right? How many of them are there now? Is it 71, I heard?
72.
71.
72. Okay. So, can you tell us about that program, the direct hire from the Philippines of these special education teachers?
Okay.
So
All of us
the
will
teach-
share later
Sure.
on, but
Yeah.
first of all, this is how the programs ran. They announced the hiring orientation in the Philippines through Facebook and word of mouth. Then they apply the
Okay.
process. During the application of the process, if they qualified, then they will be invited for an orientation. After the orientation, then the representative from the school district, from the Clark County School District here in Las Vegas,
Uh-huh.
they're gonna apply to Philippines
Okay.
to interview the qualified candidate
Okay.
for the position. So if they pass, they will be invited. They will have also interview online virtually by the principal here in the U.S. or in the Clark County to the possible candidates in the Philippines
Of the schools that they will
that
be
they're going to
assigned
be
to.
assigned to.
Okay.
So prior to their arrival on December 5th, okay, actually they're supposed to arrive last July. They're supposed to arrive last July, but because of the stop, the moratorium
Yes.
by the Philippine government, So they were stopped, and then they will have the pandemic. Then they came last December 5th. So
Oh, okay.
that is the
Okay.
short process. Then as soon as they arrive in the U.S., they're expected to report to the school district, okay, for the orientation. Then here comes the pain to help them with the integration. But in terms of other process, Leslie, can you explain your experiences? How were you hired as a J1 teacher?
What's
Okay, I'm a
J1?
J1 teacher before way back 2005. So
What's J1? Can you explain that to the listeners who don't know what J1 is?
J Visa, our teacher exchange program.
Okay.
We're just like also the students exchange program.
I
It's
see.
almost
Okay.
the same.
Okay.
But the student exchange programs are limited in terms of working. But as J Visa teachers, our teachers exchange. So after the program, we are required to go home to our home country, like 2 years to have it like impart to the Filipino teachers or anybody from the Philippines to impart and to share our
Learning.
experience
Experiences.
and trainings that we learned in teaching in the U.S.
Okay. Okay. So how were you hired? You said you were going to share your experience of being hired.
Okay, way back 2005, it's maybe much more different and much more cheaper.
Ah.
Okay,
Well,
but
true.
that's the reason why I was able to meet Miss Rosita Lee before.
Okay.
So that's so we were hired we were trained like in the Philippines first.
Mm-hmm.
And we were oriented though with what will be the setup, the classroom, and the students' behavior in class.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, we will pay for our placement, we will pay for our credentialing, and then we will be able to get a loan upon having or upon the visa. When we got our visa, when we got interviewed and we got our visa, we will be able to get a loan.
A loan from whom?
Loan from a company, a financing company from
Okay.
the Philippines.
Okay.
So it's a tied up company from the Philippines that then we can have that we can have that loan after we have passed the consulate interview when we got our visa. So there's really really like an assurance that we will be coming to the US because
Yes.
we have the visa already.
Okay.
stamped.
That,
Okay.
yeah. Leslie, she's asking about why there's a loan. The loan is the payment for the placement and all the expenses
Incurred to come here?
incurred
Okay.
during the process, which includes the visa sponsor, which include the plane ticket, which include the credentialing and the placement fee.
Oh, wow. I wish they had that back in the day when I came here. Because I only came here, I had to spend everything and I had $100 in my pocket. That's all I had.
Wow, that's nice.
How about.
$50.
Yeah, but everything else was paid for you. I mean, we had to live in hospital quarters that was not even finished yet, so because we didn't have any salaries yet, per se to rent an apartment or whatnot. So that's quite different, but that's encouraging. That's great. So is it
Doris,
great or is it
To add
not?
to that,
I'm sorry.
the J1 visa originally is for 3 years of school year contract.
Awesome.
And then possibility of another 2-year extension for a total of 5 years in the sponsor program here in Clark County.
Awesome. That's great. That's great. So any regrets, you guys? No? Yeah.
Me no, for
Yeah.
me.
It sounds like a
when I
good
got
plan.
It, so
Yeah. What about the new ones now? Are they okay? Are they given accommodations or?
Actually, the accommodation is a first requirement. It's part of the standard operating procedure that before coming over to US, or to the sponsoring city or the school district, that the agency must make sure that they have the proper accommodation, that the accommodation is two-way. First, it's either an agency contact accommodation or the individual teacher contact accommodation. So
Okay.
at least for the first 3 months, they made sure that they have amount of money that to spend.
Of course.
While the first month in living in the U.S., so they're required to have the accommodation. Without accommodation, it's gonna be a question.
It's gonna be.
Yes,
It was
because
tough.
they
Yeah, it's
cannot
tough.
just as soon as they arrive. Of course, in any country, if you arrive, you cannot just look for your hotel, but it's
Correct.
already prearranged. So this batch of teachers this year, before they arrived, the accommodation was already arranged by the agency and by the individual teachers. They contacted, they already prepaid, and it's part, of course, of these
The financial loan.
the financial
yeah,
loans that
right.
they have. Even the pocket money that they have to spend
Sure.
for the first 3 months, each one of them must have at least $3,000 with them. It's a requirement.
It's a requirement.
It's a requirement. You must have at least $3 each, because that is what they
$3,000.
signed for the waiver. It's arrangement not only by the agency or the sponsoring the business sponsor, but it's a requirement from the Philippine government that
Right,
they
right.
have the money when
Sure.
they arrive in any school district
In
or
any school district.
any state.
Okay, so is this program also, in other school districts outside of Nevada? Is this going on as well?
Yes, yes. They hired. Yes, Leslie is from other district before. Okay, it's not only Las Vegas. They have also from other state. But I don't know if the same agency is also providing manpower to the different state. Leslie?
Actually, when I came here as J visa, I came here really like direct to Las Vegas. But then I also went after 3 years. I moved to Arizona, to California, because I don't have the 2 year exchange, the 2 years extension before. Then I moved to Douglas, Arizona, where I got my permanent residency.
Ah.
But then there I found out how the process is. So
Okay.
yes, they have all in the states. They have J visa program.
Oh, okay. I gotta talk to you because
They have different agencies also.
I got a niece in there who is a teacher and she is looking at that. So I gotta talk to you. Anyway, okay. Let's see. All right. So you have sort of like kind of said how FAME is assisting these teachers, and I do commend you for that. Is there anything else that they need besides accommodations? Like, are they furnished with, how can we help? How can the community help here?
All right. First of all, thank you very much. The Filipino community here in Las Vegas is really helpful, and I commend the Filipino community because you're always there. Every time the Filipino teachers arrive here in Vegas from J1, from Batch 1 to Batch 4, the community is always there. Actually, as soon as they arrive, they have this accommodation, and that accommodation is actually furnished. Some of them, which
very good.
include board and lodging. Okay, and very few, especially after 1 year or 2 year, they decided to move to an apartment because as soon as they, for example, if they settled for 6 months to 1 year, then the following years like, time for us to save. So they moved to smaller,
The smaller,
house or apartment.
Sure.
So that's a time they need help. Like, we need the bed, we need the table. That's a time.
Okay.
But as of now, still is smooth sailing. All of them has the accommodation. There was a glitch on the first 3 months when they arrived because a secret to everyone, because when they arrive in December and they're expected to be hired on January 4, but it is a standard operating procedure. Any state that if you arrive in the U.S. and if you want to join, especially in the education sector, that you must have the proper printing, fingerprinting. So there was a delay on the fingerprinting, okay, for the fingerprint. So there was a delay. So the school district cannot let them start without the result from FBI.
Right.
And during the pandemic, during the Christmas break, there's a bulk of
Oh, yes.
processing.
Yeah.
There was a late in terms of the hiring.
There's a
But
delay. Yeah.
everything was settled in. So most of them started from December. Of course, instead of January 4, most of them started February 16. But everything is
Oh,
okay
okay.
now. It was sorted out. And they are aware that you cannot just teach, and the school district will not just let you in without the result from your fingerprint or from FBI background check.
Yeah. Yeah. You have any comments on that, ladies?
Two things. So during the time that they were not working, we were able to tap into the food banks, and there were a lot of help
Yeah.
from the community as well, and we are very thankful. And the second point that Doc Mike mentioned was about the furnitures. After the first year, they are with their host families, and then on the second year, they try to spread their wings.
Sure.
And they ask for donations of furnitures, but that's later on, and later on they buy their own. So it's like they are getting better and better with it, but sometimes they ask for help too, and we try to tap into the community to look for free resources that the Filipino American community is able to provide.
Yeah, yeah, and I really commend the Filipino community, for that, and that has been an experience. Even when I came here, and I'm pretty old, when we came here, there was only very few Filipinos, not here in Vegas, but in Florida. There was only very few Filipinos in the community, but we were welcomed, with open arms. I mean, they helped us furnish our apartments, so, and clothes and beds and whatever else you needed. So we want to pay it forward too. I always want to pay it forward. So, but I see this as a trait of all our Filipino friends. And so to all the Filipino community, thank you for that. But I just would like to share with you that there are still some people who are asking, what do they need? What do they need? So I am asking you, and if you do, let me know, because we have some resources as well.
Yes, of course. If you really want to help the Filipino teachers in Las Vegas, just get in touch with the Filipino American educators through me or through other officers, and we're willing to work out with you so your donation can reach out to the Filipino teachers who are in need.
Awesome. Any phone numbers you want to share?
Of course, 725-780-5952.
Okay.
Or we have our email address on mikesantajuana@gmail.com, or even PHLB Radio with Doris, and of course, our friend Johan.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, very good. Very good.
We
So
also
go
we
ahead.
also have an email for fame.
Yes.
The email for fame is
fameofenvy@gmail.com.
fame
FAMEOFNV@gmail.com.
.com.
fameofenvy@gmail.com. Okay, so is this the same place where people who want to join your organization,
Yes.
the educators,
Yes.
that's the same thing? Okay, very good. You guys are doing great. So for a last question, what is your message to, let's say, the community and to your students about this COVID pandemic and about coming back to work, coming back to school, I should say?
First of all of us are excited to all our students, then don't be afraid. The pandemic will go, but the teacher will come. We're always here for you to help, especially the community, the parents, and to our dear students. The teachers are also considered the frontliners. We're ready to risk our life just for the sake of educating America.
Awesome. And your message, Jean?
I always say it takes a village for a student to learn in the same manner as it takes a village for our J1 teachers to feel that they're welcomed here in Clark County. We all need each other. No one's an island, so we have to collaborate and help each other out in order for us to survive this, right?
Exactly. Wonderful. Thank you. And Miss Leslie, you have the last word.
For me, it's united we stand. So when with us together, we will be able to surpass these challenges, and we can live normally within this after this pandemic. It will be normal, even though with this new normal of wearing
Yeah.
mask
Yeah.
inside the classroom, we
Uh-huh.
will be able to live normally.
Very good. Well, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Doc Mike. I appreciate you here. Thank you, Miss Jean Mizell. Thank you. And Miss Leslie Tira. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for coming. We really appreciate it for you to, I know you're all very busy, and thanks for taking the time to come and enlighten us here at Philippine Hours. Okay. Okay.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you for inviting us.
We will do
Thank
this
you.
again.
Pleasure to be here, Miss Doris.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And we have a message to you, educators, and all the educators out there. We want you to know that you are seen and you are valued. You may not be listed maybe as an essential worker, but you are essential. And teaching during this coronavirus pandemic is so far from typical. Everybody knows that. It's literally nothing that the school systems have ever done before. So we know you miss your students and the students miss you. We know you miss the classroom community and the culture that you have cultivated as teachers. And you know how much your students mean to you and how they become your kids year after year. And how much you love seeing them in the light, and when your face lights up when they learn something new. But don't worry, your students are still learning something new. There's something else that you need to keep in mind. You may be grieving the loss of the normalcy. This is the new normal, but you are creating history and you are still teaching. So, to our listeners out there, we know most of the focus these days are on students, but we also need to think of the teachers. So, thank a teacher and thank an educator for all they do. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is Doris Bauer, your Philippine Nurse host, signing off for now.
The Philippine Nurses Association of Nevada has just brought you Filipinars, news and features about the Filipino American nursing community and beyond. Fridays, 7 p.m. on PHLV Radio.